who searches the banks of rivers for artefacts. The Thames holds many historical treasures, many of them military artefacts, and that's where Nicola White comes in. Nicola has been mudlarking for 15 years, and she uses her military finds to uncover the story behind them. Hi Nicola.
Hi Lisa.
How are you?
Fine.
So this is where you find all the treasures that I've read and seen so many videos about.
Yes, that's right. I mean, the tide's on its way in now. It's quite far up. But generally, when the tide is out, you get some marvellous pieces of history washed up on Thames mud.
So would it be just be looking around like right now, like always keeping an eye out for something?
Yeah, I generally walk along pretty slowly and keep a lookout. And if I see something that looks interesting, I'll stop and pick it up, put it in my bag, and then you can find so many interesting bits and pieces that have been washed out by the tide. We go out at low tide to look for pieces of history that have been thrown out by the tide. There's so much that's been lost in the river, thrown in the river, and now we come to find it. So dating right back to Neolithic times, right up to modern day.
Just as we were about to move on, Nicola spotted her first find.
You see, now that could be a coin, or it could be. Oh, now that, look, is a button. You can see it's a button because it's got the little bit there. So that's a little brass button.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't look like there's anything on it, but when I get home, I'll get that rust off, and we might find the maker's mark, so we'll be able to find out when it was made and who it belonged to, and probably a sailor or a military button, I'd think.
With the tide coming in, we didn't have much time to find some military treasures, but luckily, Nicola spotted something straight away.
This is interesting. Can you see what I'm pointing at there?
The curly-whirly thing?
No.
Oh.
I'm looking at this.
Oh, okay.
Now that is interesting because it is actually naval. It's a naval pottery, and you can tell that by this chain that's going around the edge. I mean, whether it was perhaps a bowl or something, but that design there is naval.
What do you mean? So that would have the Navy? That would have been.
Yeah, that would have been probably on a Royal Navy ship. But I found some of this recently and have been looking into it. And yes, it's military or naval anyway because of that design. But it's pretty, isn't it? But
it is really pretty.
That'll be that'll be 19th century, I'd say, 19th century.
That's amazing. So it's incredible how much knowledge you have, like to be able to spot that and know what it is straight away.
Well, I think it's motivating when you actually find something on the foreshore. It's very motivating to find out about it. It's really like history you can touch, and it just inspires you. So you want to learn more about it.
And it's not just pieces of Royal Navy crockery that Nicola has found.
This bit of metal, which looks relatively uninteresting, but it's a really good example of how a small piece of metal can open up a huge story. This is a luggage tag which belonged to a man called Frederick Jury from 72 Woolwich Road, and he went to join the Australian Imperial Force during World War I. He went out there in 1915 and fought in the trenches in Belgium.
And then how did you then trace that back to find that was a World War I soldier that owned that?
Well, I had a bit of help. There are some amazing people, and with the help of the internet, of course, and the ancestry sites, we're able to look at the electoral register and the Australian Imperial Force, and all the records were on his information on ancestry. And the Australian Imperial Force, they keep amazing records. So there was the story right from when he went to Australia, all his military career, when he was injured in Belgium, which hospital he went to, how many fingers he lost, and then when he came back he was discharged with a medal for his service until he died in, I think it was 1936.
That's incredible. So he found all that out just from...
Yes, just from this. And it was particularly nice because he never had any children of his own, so there was nobody to tell his story, so bringing him back to life again was really quite special.
With the impatient tide washing in, it was time for us to leave. But Nicola will no doubt return tomorrow to see what military stories the river might share.